Everyone is talking about this as two elite Canucks prospects make their presence known in Friday's preseason game versus the Seattle Kraken as they fight tooth and nail for an opening night roster spot, which doesn't seem entirely out of the realm of possibility considering Vancouver's latest injury update. We're going to be breaking down all that in this episode of Canucks Digest, but first, if you're not a part of the 42% of viewers who are already subscribed to the channel yet and you want to help us reach our goal of 9,000 subscribers before the start of the regular season, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any of the updates as they drop. And with that, let's hop into the first topic and our only topic of the day, which is the Buzzin Prospects, because the Vancouver Canucks had a preseason game tonight against the Seattle Kraken. Before we jump into the game details, jumping into the lineup before the game was started, this lineup was announced as you had the first line there being DeBrusk, Pettersson, and Boeser. Hopefully that is our first line in the regular season because I really like that trio. You have DeBrusk there and Boeser, who are the two most clutch goal scorers that we have on the team, with Pettersson, who is a much needed top goal scorer in the forwards position that needs a bounce back year to perform like that. Then you have in the second line there Evander Kane, Braden Coots, and Jonathan Lekkerimäki, which is a line that we're going to be talking about a lot here in a little bit, but that was also a very intriguing line to watch throughout the game. Then you had Kravtsov, Bluger, and Sherwood rounding out the third line, and Ulrichsen, Ratu, and Klimovich in that fourth line pairing. Then, of course, you go to the defenseman. You got, of course, Hughes and his co-pilot, Filip Hronek. Then you have DPD Elias Pettersson with Tom Willander, which would probably be a pairing if we see them in the regular season. It's the second time we've seen Willander in a preseason game now. And then you had Kirill Kudryavtsev as well on that third pairing. Lankinen and Tolopilo getting the start in goaltending, where Tolopilo came in the middle of the second period or third period. I can't exactly remember which point he came in, but he got credit for the W as the Vancouver Canucks were able to rattle off 4 unanswered goals actually to get the comeback win over the Seattle Kraken after being down 2-0 late in the second period. They got within striking distance by just rattling off one, and then the rest of them came in that third period when they had 3 goals. So 4 unanswered goals for Vancouver to secure the preseason dub. Yes, it's the preseason. We're not going to blow anything out of proportion here. Overall, once that first period was out of the way and the Canucks kind of got their feet going and got moving a little bit, that offense looked a lot better than it did in that first period. They got some things going. They had the power play going. That was another big thing that's going to be emphasized this season, especially when you look at the players who scored on that power play goal as well. That was a big thing as well. When we look at the scorers as well, you look at that first goal scorer for the Vancouver Canucks, Braden Coots, who got a deflection goal off of a Jonathan Lekkerimäki shot. Initially, they thought that Lekkerimäki had gotten the goal, but after they reviewed it, it was Braden Coots who got credited with the goal. Then Filip Hronek sniped one from deep early on in the third period to get that goal, get that score tied. And then Jake DeBrusk on the power play, jamming one free that Matt Murray was looking for a goaltender interference call. It did not happen, as it was a very clean poke that Jake DeBrusk was able to free into the net, being accompanied by Brock Boeser and Quinn Hughes. Three of our 4 best goal scorers, and yes, I'm saying 4, including PD in there, as much as you guys would hate me to say it, just because he is one of our best goal scorers when he is at his best. And if he is at his best, he is going to be in that top 4, top 5 goal scorers for this season, without a doubt. But having Boeser and Quinn Hughes contribute on that DeBrusk goal, obviously very huge. And then Evander Kane just bringing it home with that empty netter. So Evander Kane getting that goal in a Vancouver Canucks jersey is still a very weird sight to get used to. But by the right time the regular season happens, or the first couple of games, that'll be nothing but the past, and it'll be all about focusing on Evander Kane being in Vancouver and not with anybody else, especially that hated division rival that is the Edmonton Oilers. But looking at the game stats for the game overall as well, you had Vancouver dominating the shot clock, which is something that we rarely see in the regular season. Hopefully this is a trend that continues. The hits being at 33-24, we know Vancouver likes to play physical, and they absolutely did tonight. 6 penalty minutes. They stayed pretty disciplined, stayed out of the box as well, and they were able to capitalize on Seattle's mistakes by being in the box with getting that power play goal. They also won in the face-off circle with a pretty great showing there at 56-44%. So overall, a pretty clean game for the Canucks if you take away that first period. And when you look at the box score, of course, you have in there, you got, of course, we're going to talk about Braden Coots there, where he got the goal and he had a really decent amount of ice time there, where he got 15 minutes in. Most of the guys there got around that same amount, where you had some getting 19, of course, if they were the top guys. Vander Kane getting a lot of ice time being one of them. And of course, Quinn Hughes, he's going to get the ice time. He's going to eat. Then you have in the goaltending department, you have Tolopilo stopping every single shot that he faced. I know it was only 4, but still, he stopped every single shot. And then Lankinen, he let in 2 on 19. So still a pretty solid night for the goaltenders. Lankinen made some really nice saves that were a little bit acrobatic at times when they were feeling the pressure, and he still was able to make things happen. But overall, I think the ones that we're all going to be focusing on is Jonathan Lekkerimäki and Braden Coots right there, where Lekkerimäki getting the assist, getting 2 shots on net as well, and contributing even more so throughout the entire game, being a +2 with 3 shots on net, and as well as just a great amount of ice time there, where you see on there at 13 minutes and 44 seconds. And Braden Coots just really performing up to par and even exceeding all of our expectations. Everyone was wondering heading into this game, how would Braden Coots perform on that second line with Vander Kane and Jonathan Lekkerimäki? Well, we found out he performed his ass off, and he is really hell-bent on making that opening night roster. And Jonathan Lekkerimäki as well. We know we saw him in the regular season a lot more than we did the previous year, as he got a lot more playing time and was a big impact player in Abbotsford at times, not so much in the postseason, which was a bit of a topic of discussion. But he still was able to have a really good showing tonight, getting that assist on that shot that almost was his goal, but Braden Coots getting that deflection. But this night was all about Braden Coots and how this kid is going to have an opportunity in the NHL when the regular season starts. It's probably only going to be for 9 or 10 games, because we did get an injury update on Nils Höglander, where they kind of said that he is going to be week to week with a lower body injury. So that really opens the door here for Braden Coots and Jonathan Lekkerimäki, more so with Braden Coots because Jonathan Lekkerimäki's spot is a little bit more secure on that opening night roster than say someone like Braden Coots. But having Nils Höglander out for a little bit, I know that Coots is more of a center, but you could plop him in at wing there. If he's getting NHL experience, he's not going to care as much, or you can kind of move some guys around. Someone that can play center and winger, you kind of move them onto that other line. If you are going to roll with Coots and having Höglander, whatever Höglander's spot was going to be, you put Coots in there, and then you pencil in a center who can also play winger to go in there. Who knows what kind of roster shuffling that the Canucks would be able to do with that. However, I definitely think that with Höglander being week to week, we're probably going to see Braden Coots get about 9 to 10 games, which is what he was wanting heading into this training camp. He talked about it in interviews, how he said that 9 games feels realistic for him, but obviously he's going to be hungry for more. And we are absolutely going to be seeing that at the start of this season. We're going to see what this kid's made of, and they're going to feed him to the Sharks right away with getting the pressure on him in the opening night of the regular season. I can almost guarantee you that Braden Coots will be on that roster and will be playing opening night. And for the first couple of games, and to see what this kid's made of, that is no better way than to just say, hey, sink or swim, kid. It's all the pressure is all on you. All the eyes are on you. You had a lot of buzz coming out of training camp. The announcers were talking about it so much throughout the game, the impact that he was playing, that he had in training camp, all the confidence that he has in himself and the chip that he has on his shoulder. This is going to be something that is going to carry over into the regular season. And if he can get that going very early on, if he gets an assist in his first game, gets a couple really good shots on net, or even scores a goal in that first opening night game, who knows what the ceiling is for this kid and what he is going to be able to do. I know Archdeep Bains kind of had that kind of quick flash early start last year and kind of fizzled out, and then he kind of got sent down to the AHL for basically the rest of the season and didn't really play many games in the NHL after that. For that season. However, with Braden Coots, if he just comes out the gate swinging, this is a guy they drafted in the first round. They were really high on for a reason. So if he can get 9 to 10 games in before he has to go back to the WHL, that is going to be huge for his development, especially if he has this chip on his shoulder where it's able to get him some points added to that as well, and he's not just getting cardio. We got a steal. We didn't get a steal in the first round. We got an absolute gem in the first round with Braden Coots, as he could be an absolute future star on this team. But let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. I know we've been hyping up Braden Coots a lot during this training camp and preseason, but the reports have all been really positive. The hype has been real around him, it seems like, for the most part. Now it's just a matter of translating that to the regular season to see if all of this is going to be backed up when it matters most, and not just going against the preseason guys just giving about 75-80% of their effort. It's going to be interesting to watch, and you guys won't want to miss it. So stay tuned to Canucks Digest for all those updates. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss them, and you get to see those episodes when they drop. But for now, I've been your host, Griffen. Take care.